Even though Steve Jobs died several years ago, the iconic founder of Apple still holds a place in the memories of many tech users. But for all his creativity, he always wore the same black turtleneck. Here's Steve Jobs' uniform finally explained. Jobs' life story, of course, is one for the ages. A foster child who became a college dropout, his creative vision and funding proved instrumental in revolutionizing the personal computer, MP3 players, cell phones, the animation industry, and more. His personal life was certainly messy and problematic, with a daughter he refused to recognize for years, and, as multiple films have highlighted, a history of abusive behavior toward friends and employees. But there's no arguing his impact on culture, society, and the world. In a world increasingly loaded with titans of technology, Jobs stood out from the crowd. At least one key aspect of his iconography was the famous black turtleneck sweater he wore every time he stepped before a big glittering screen. Why that minimalistic look, though? What might cause a man with so much creative vision to wear the exact same outfit every day? It all started in Japan. When Jobs visited there in the 1980s, he loved how all of Sony's employees wore a uniform, and he decided that getting Apple staff to do the same thing would be a great way to build team solidarity. He sought out Issei Miyake, who had designed the Sony outfits, and commissioned Apple uniforms consisting of a nylon vest with removable sleeves. When he excitedly brought these outfits back to the US, they weren't exactly welcomed with open arms. As he later told his biographer Walter Isaacson, "Oh man, did I get booed off the stage."
How about we save it for the last night of our lives?
Even though the Apple team roundly rejected the idea of dressing like a bunch of 1960s Starfleet officers, Jobs didn't quite give up on the idea. Back then, he was known for having a quite dapper and stylish sense of fashion, ranging from leather jackets to bow ties. But he saw the potential power in creating a definitive, iconic look for himself that could also represent Apple as a whole. The more he thought about it, the more he liked the idea of wearing his own uniform, both for its stylistic components and its convenience. Since he had maintained a friendship with Miyake, he eventually bit the bullet and had the designer make him a whole bundle of identical black turtlenecks. Jobs chose the black turtleneck because he liked the style, and according to Isaacson's biography, he ended up with 100 of them. Apparently, he kept them all neatly folded, too, and one imagines he never had to sort them. After that, he simply climbed into those blue jeans and New Balance sneakers, and his outfit was forever set in stone. It's quite possible that Jobs never needed to buy shirts again, but after his death, sales of black turtlenecks shot through the roof. However, any old black turtleneck isn't necessarily a Steve Jobs turtleneck. So in 2017, Miyake's company started retailing a garment called Semi-Dull Tee that closely imitated the Jobs sweater and sold for $270 a pop. Though Jobs certainly gets his due for his tech innovations, his influence on the fashion of today's crop of entrepreneurs often goes unmentioned. If you think about it, he was the major figure who made it okay for future tech titans to leave their suits and ties in the closet. He paved the way for people like Elon Musk to wear leather jackets with Rick and Morty shirts underneath, and for Mark Zuckerberg to just throw on gray t-shirts every day. And if you thought Jobs sweaters were overpriced, it's worth noting that those boring Zuck shirts apparently retail for $300 to $400 each. For that price, they better have magical self-cleaning properties. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.